Hey guys, welcome back to the Tegiwa YouTube channel. Today we've got one of our staff cars, Honda Civic EP3 behind us, and it's going to be fitted with a set of Jenvey individual throttle bodies. As you can see, the car it's pretty standard at the minute, so we're going to do a few tests. We've done a stock dyno run, and today we've got Paul West coming down, and he's going to set a benchmark with the modifications that it's got on and the Haltech 1500 ECU. So he's going to map it, see where we get to, and then the car will go away to Jenvey, get the ITBs fitted, and then it'll come back and we'll do another power run. So let's take a look at the modifications that the car has. We've got a Tegiwa carbon airbox. This is pretty much a go-to for most EP3 owners. It's a proven solution. It looks good, it sounds good. We've got a silicone hose that just goes into the throttle body. We've also got a Tegiwa exhaust manifold, and that's paired up with a Tegiwa 70mm catback. Again, proven option, seen time and time again on many EP3s that we get good gains. And that's it pretty much engine-wise. So pretty basic modifications. Obviously the manifold and the exhaust, the airbox, all helps the car breathe better. And the car is going to have an Haltech 1500 ECU. We'll let Paul do some talking on that, but that's what the car will be mapped on. And all you'll need actually for these ITBs will just be the Haltech ECU or a standalone ECU. So they're going to be a plug and play option, literally fit and forget. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about what ITBs are. So ITBs, they're short for individual throttle bodies. So on the Civic, you have one throttle body just down here. It's a 4-cylinder car. So it replaces the intake manifold and they bolt straight onto the engine. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, one for each cylinder. And it's an individual throttle body per cylinder essentially. Yeah, they sound incredible. It's going to be interesting to see what sort of gains it makes over the benchmark that we're doing today. So next thing to do, get the car inside, get it bolted to the TI Motorsport dyno, and we can get tuning. Okay, so car's on the dyno, and we've got Mr. Paul West with us. What are your thoughts, Paul? What's going on today?
It's going to be quite interesting. This is a cup spec car, so it's got the Tegiwa intake, the Tegiwa manifold, the Tegiwa exhaust, and it's only a stock ECU at the moment. Done some power runs with this, so we're ready to go with a conversion now to a Haltech ECU, Haltech Elite, which is the plug and play harness as well. I'll remap this. I'm expecting to see some really good gains on this. Because we're not under any limitations with this, we'd expect to see a bit more power out of this, a bit more throttle response, plus you get all the other trick bits and pieces. Yeah. Once this is done, the car's then off to Jenvey for a nice set of ITBs. Yeah, and then we're going to be remapping that again, yeah, and see the difference before and after with the different intakes, which is
mega. So I'll hand you over to Paul now and he'll give you some Haltech goodness.
What we've got here, the bits that we're installing today, we've got the Haltech Elite plug and play. So it's a direct plug-in conversion, so we can use the stock engine harness into that. So that will then run us straight into our new Elite 1500 ECU. Modern state-of-the-art, waterproof, way to go. We've got 2 CAN inputs on this, one on the top here, one through the wiring harness. And what we're going to do, we're going to run as well a CAN wideband, 4.9. The sensor's already in the exhaust with the main cable up. This will then plug straight into that. This then plugs straight into the ECU and pick up an ignition live for it. What we're also going to do is we can daisy chain this. So this is our main cable CAN line that comes into this. One of the trick things with the Haltech stuff, so easy. It's like the old Windows laptops where you just plug things in and plug and play. This is the CAN digital gauge. It will display everything that we're seeing on the ECU, including AFRs, pressures, temperatures, any other sensors we've got in it. We can set up alarms, all sorts of bits and pieces. old gauges. We used to have loads of wires with harnesses and things to go into the things. This one, there's none of that. It's, again, just plug and play, and it daisy chains. So this would plug straight into our network there, and then this will plug into the back. And that's it. It's the same as if we was to run the IC7 digital dash. We can then daisy chain that through the other CAN output, or we run through a CAN hub extender. Just plug that into there and then straight out to the other modules that Haltech have got with us. So what we're going to do now is take the original ECU out, plug this in. I'll need to solder in the ignition live for this, for the wide band. We'll check the base time of the car, and then away we go.
So you've had a few hours mapping it, Paul. How did you get on?
Pretty well. It's pretty standard setup. Takes longer to get everything configured because it's an aftermarket ECU. It's plug and play. It's plug and play with regard to the wiring harness that's on there. You've still got to set all the IOs up, check everything out, fan positions, gear ratios, bits and pieces, so everything's there and set. Yeah, there's nothing really untoward with it. We made really good power on it, I think, over the base run.
What was it, 237 horsepower?
Yeah, that's corrected as well. So uncorrected, we was up pretty much 240 brake. You'll get people poo-pooing it, saying that you shouldn't have, to make 240 brake, you should have this mod, that mod. We haven't got an intake manifold, that's the standard one, but the difference is it's properly set up, properly mapped. It's a good ECU. You'll make more power with the same settings on a modern ECU than you will do on Honda or Honda Vert, things like that. It's just new ECUs, new tech, faster scan speeds and things. It's running exactly what we should be running. We're only revving to 8.6 as well, so there's nothing untoward. It was pulling a bit of ignition at the top end because the dyno's holding it back so much. Just a couple of degrees, it was pulling it back there. So it's right. It should feel good, nice and responsive on the road. And I think when we get the ITBs on, I'd expect to see another 10 brake everywhere.
Awesome. Yeah, we can't wait to. So that's next, isn't it, Paul? So the EP3 is now going to go to Jenvey HQ. It's going to go there for 3 or 4 weeks. They're going to develop the kit, and then we'll literally clap or something, and you'll see the car back, pop the bonnet, and we'll have a shiny set of
more noise.
Yeah, shiny set of trumpets under there, and then you can work your magic once again.
Look forward to it.
Hi, Jenvey Dynamics, Adam Smart design. So this is the intake system we've made for Tegiwa. We want to make our kit fit a standard car without any modification, without major modification. So the biggest issue was getting around the pulley. So we've had a bit of a curve in the manifold. We're very close to the spindles, but we've managed to fit our standard bodies. We've got a standard linkage underneath with a return spring, ITG filter, which fits in very snugly, 19mm air horns. We've managed to fit the standard temperature sensor, the map center. It's got the idle control valve, the standard Honda one, standard TP. I've had to make a little adapter to fit the standard TP into the throttle body. Fuel rail, it's all standard fuel rail, so it's literally a bolt-on kit. Haven't had to change any of the pipes. The existing pipes go into the new bosses that we've made. Yeah, so when we first got the car, stripped it all down, we did the first 3D prints, bolted them all on. We've got a 3D printer in-house. We had to go through a few iterations to get around everything, but still keep the good airflow. which is the important for us. So yeah, we've ended up just printing the one end, where was the issue to start with, so just bolting it on, moving it, trying a different one, and then we did a full print, then found other issues with some pipes clashing in the wiring loom. So a bit of playing around, finally come to this design. We did want to originally put a airbox on to go into the original airbox, but the packaging was so tight we'd have to do a really small manifold, so we came to the conclusion that a filter would be a better solution for power. So we've gone with that. Otherwise it would be a full custom intake system, which would put the price higher than we wanted to go.
Okay, so it's been a few weeks. The car's now back at Tegiwa. As you can see, we've got some shiny new Jenvey throttle bodies on the car. So the next thing to do, the car's been trailered here. We weren't able to start it because the sort of map isn't safe at the minute. So we've got Paul West with us. He's going to spend the day on the dyno, tuning it so we can get it running. First things first though, is that we need to pop a set of 410cc RDX injectors in so we can get a bit more fuel in there. They look fantastic. We can't wait to hear what they sound like. The other good thing that we spoke about is that so it's just like a different route of NA tuning really. So a lot of people go down the upgraded intake manifold route, upgraded airbox, but having this kit eradicates the need for all that. So you don't need an airbox, you don't need the intake manifold. You can simply just put this set on your car with a set of injectors. Obviously you need your Haltech and your wideband and a tune, and then your kit is literally good to go. And it's also going to be good for other people that already have the airbox and the intake manifold. So, you know, you can always take them off, sell them, and that's going to pay. If you've already got like your Haltech or an aftermarket ECU, selling them is pretty much going to pay for a set of these. So, yeah. So yeah, we're going to put the injectors in, get it tuned, and then can't wait to get it out on the road and hear what it sounds like.
Well, today's the long anticipated arrival of the car as it's come from Jenvey. Just look at these things. It actually is direct fitment kit. After being involved with development of similar kits in the past, everything's there. It's even got the factory TPS sensor, so in theory it's going to save us a good 100 and 150 pounds. I'm not 100% sure we'd be able to recalibrate that with Honda, but we certainly can with aftermarket ECUs because the direction's opposite. But I guess you probably could with Honda because you can reverse the polarity on the thing. Really quite impressed with them, especially with the position of the injectors. It's right on top of the ports as well, so we haven't got half the problems we've had with previous kits with swirl effect because the injectors sit right behind the flaps. But it's been really easy to tune. Had to balance them. Again, dead easy to balance, dead easy to set up. You see a lot of people running these and they might cut the bonnet, or they actually remove the slam panel, they put bonnet pins in, and then they can just run straight through from the grille straight onto them. But yeah, pretty pleased with the way this has all gone today.
Okay, so we've finished our tuning session with Paul. Pleased to report that the car's now making 251.1 horsepower, which is an additional 13.8 horsepower compared to the last map without the ITBs. So one thing we would say is take the dyno figures with a pinch of salt. So obviously we're so pleased that it's made that much more horsepower, and it shows that they have made a dramatic improvement to the performance of the car. But it does come down to how it drives on the road, and pairing a set of ITBs with a K20 that screams all the way to 9,000 RPM, there's not much that comes close in terms of driving experience. So one thing that we did notice on the dyno, so we did do a run without the air filter and it made even more power. So what we can say is that the more air that you can feed the trumpets with, the better it's going to be. So what you could do is potentially look at replacing this slam panel, chopping that out, putting some aero catches in, and then having sort of a direct feed here, a vented bonnet. I don't know, there's different ways, but it depends what you want really. And for us, you know, we've got a nice performance gain, and it's going to be a screamer. So yeah, we're not too bothered about like chasing massive figures. That's not what they're intended for. But yeah, there's obviously a few thank yous that we'd like to give out for making this video possible. First one, of course, goes to Jenvey Dynamics. Big thanks for making this ITB plug and play kit. It's been quite a long time coming, and it's a bit of a game changer actually in terms of NA tuning for the K20. Big thanks to Paul West from TPW Engineering, spending a couple of days at Tegiwa, mapping the car. It's been great getting your insight as well. Thanks to Kaya Bedos, whose car this belongs to. Big thanks to Haltech for getting on board with what we're doing, and thanks to you guys for watching, because it wouldn't be possible to make these videos if no one's watching. So thank you, give us a like, let us know in the comments what you thought, let us know if there's any other tests that you'd like to see, and we'll see you in the next one.